You're listening to a highlight from One Nation with Dov Lipman on Voice of Israel.
You're listening to One Nation with Dov Lipman, and now we get to the part of the program where we get to talk to each other, and I get to take questions from you and try to help understand what's happening in Israel. And actually, some of the questions today go towards me personally, so we'll deal with those as well. Our first question today comes from Moshe in Ramat Beit Shemesh. I live in the city of Beit Shemesh and live right on the border, actually, with Ramat Beit Shemesh. It's all part of one municipality. And Moshe writes to me, Dov, you claim to have helped Haredim, the ultra-Orthodox, get to work. What did you actually do? Very, very forward question, Moshe, and I appreciate the opportunity to explain some of what we've done for the ultra-Orthodox population. For those who don't know the background, Israel is divided into many different populations, and one of those is a group that's called the ultra-Orthodox, which over time has become somewhat of an isolated population in our country, where they don't have general studies in their schools for the most part. They don't view going to work as a value, and there's actually an ideology not to go to work and to try to extend their stay in rabbinic seminaries studying the Torah. And I grew up in the United States version of the Haredi community, where I actually went to a yeshiva where we studied the religious texts every single day until a certain time, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we went to university and we received university degrees. And I look at my friends in the United States who come from that rabbinic seminary, and they're doctors and they're lawyers and they're accountants and they're high-tech entrepreneurs and they're Talmudic scholars and they're fervently Orthodox in terms of their religious observance. So I was dedicated to try to make a change in Israel and help the ultra-Orthodox population get to the workforce. So when I was elected to the Knesset in January 2013, I established and chaired a Knesset task force to help the ultra-Orthodox get to work. Now, how do you do that? There are people who are in the rabbinic seminaries, they're studying. What does that mean to get them to go to work? So what we did was we established projects throughout the country, throughout Israel, to help the ultra-Orthodox who chose to go to work get training, and then to actually help them find jobs. One of the flagship programs was something called All Jobs Haredim. All Jobs is the number one employment service in Israel, and they opened up a division for the ultra-Orthodox population. And among those projects, Moshe, that we set up throughout Israel, we get an average of 500 resumes per month from people in the ultra-Orthodox community who want to get training and want to find jobs. And there's been a 300% increase in the ultra-Orthodox community coming to the government for government services to help them find jobs. So we've seen a tremendous success in this area. And I have to tell you, aside from the mitzvah of helping these young men now support their families with dignity, there's been an added dimension which I didn't necessarily anticipate beforehand, because we worked with CEOs and we convinced them to hire the members of the ultra-Orthodox community. And they were hesitant at first. They were scared because perhaps it would lead to tensions in the workplace, where perhaps the ultra-Orthodox members of the workforce of their companies would now demand changes in terms of how the women might dress, demanding more modest attire, or perhaps they would make demands in terms of the kitchen and the dietary laws and supervision. There were concerns and fears. And we're starting to hear remarkable stories about what happens when you bring the ultra-Orthodox into the workforce. First of all, the CEOs are telling us that they are the best employees. They are disciplined. They work hard. They know how to think. They've been studying for years, and they're adding a lot to the workplace in terms of that. But even more so, this is the first opportunity that some of these young ultra-Orthodox men have had to meet people in secular Israel. And their whole lives, they had this image of secular Israelis being bad people. They don't live the same lifestyle in terms of religious observance. And all of a sudden, they're seeing that, yes, they don't observe the religious laws the way they do, but they're wonderful people, and they're value-centered people, and they're able to get along with one another. And the opposite has happened as well. Secular Israelis who never had the opportunity to meet anyone in the ultra-Orthodox community are all of a sudden realizing, wow, these are wonderful people, value-centered people, people who have been volunteering for years in all kinds of organizations that didn't even realize the contribution they were making to broader Israel. A moment ago, we had on the show, we talked to a member of the ultra-Orthodox community who's doing so much for special needs children in Israel. And all of a sudden, they're exposed to all of this. And this breaks down barriers, and this creates unity. And one CEO mentioned that someone in the ultra-Orthodox community was making a bar mitzvah and invited secular members of the company to come. Things that we never imagined would start happening. So thank God we've really helped them get training. That's the first step. Get to the workplace, support their families with dignity. And the letters that I've received from members of the ultra-Orthodox community and those who have come to my office and have talked about how much it has meant to them and has changed their lives, this is something which I view personally as perhaps one of my greatest successes that I was blessed to be part of in the Knesset. And my one hope and prayer is that this process continues, that the new government which is being formed won't roll back some of the programs which have been contributing towards helping them get to work, and we certainly hope that the progress can.
Voice of Israel, your source for news and views on everything Israel and the Middle East.